everybody, and welcome to the Independent Thinking Online Children's Book Festival Extravaganza. I've been doing recordings all week with some amazing authors, and now we're hit the actual weekend itself. We're live. I'm speaking to you from my lair inside Rotterdam International Secondary School. Why not? It's a good place to be, and doing this is a good thing to be doing on a rainy day in Rotterdam. So thank you for the people who are live, and thank you for the people watching this. And really, so many of the authors have come at things in so many different ways. It's such a rich festival, whether they've written books for children, for little children, for older children, or about children. But the one we're starting with today comes at it in a totally different angle again, in terms of not so much the children as the parent and what the parent is going through. Whether that's a single mother, whether that's parents of children with SEND issues, just parents just trying to get by and trying to make the most of everything, trying to survive, which is why this book, The Perfect Mask, is such a powerful book, and I get the feeling it's such an honest book as well. And I'm delighted to welcome its author, Claire Lamb. So welcome, Claire. So if you can just tell us a little bit about who you are, where you come from, how you got to be writing a book like the book, and then just tell us a little bit then about the book and what you mean by The Perfect Mask.
Okay, so I've always wanted to be an author since I was young, and with one thing and another, it never happened. I've always been writing or doing poems, or there is an unfinished book in the loft still. And then the kids came along, and as always, they take precedent over everything, as they should. My first child was born with Down syndrome and cerebral palsy, heart conditions, and due to those, there's a big list attached, because of those conditions. For example, autism, sensory processing, and then the complex medical side. So that was a whole new game changer when she came. Because I had a lot to learn, and it was quite overwhelming because there were so many professionals involved, all of them very important. But, I was dealing with probably 15 different professionals, which I don't think they always realise how many other professionals you're dealing with, plus the home life, plus the extra work as a carer, because being a parent and being a carer are two different things. And to be both is hard. But of course, I would never change her for the world. She's amazing, absolutely amazing, and she's enriched my life in ways that I can't explain. She really is truly brilliant. Very shortly after, I had another child who is autistic, but he wasn't diagnosed with autism until he was 8. But leading up to that age, it was difficult because he was finding life very, very difficult. So I was juggling, and a single mum from, they were both of a very, very young age. So yeah, I learned how to juggle a lot, and deal and try and sort of prioritise, where we had to go, the play dates, the doctors, all the appointments, and change your life according to their needs. Constantly up the schools, just choosing a school was hard. Not having a support of a partner to help you with the decisions. My family were amazing and still are. And my whole circle of friends became special needs. My whole life, special needs. It was special needs at home. My friends have all got kids with special needs, or they're closely related, because it's just my circle. I then I started working as an independent supporter, helping parents navigate the EHC process, because it is something I'm quite passionate about. It can be, I think it was 2014 where the law changed, where parents must have a voice and the child must have a voice. So that was really important to me. So I worked with a lot of families. It came apparent that my youngest needed to be homeschooled because of not coping with lots and lots of things at school, sensory, and he was so depressed. he wanted to commit suicide, which was so, that, you know, that says a lot. I had to take him out of school.
How old was he at that point?
8 years old.
Okay.
Then he got diagnosed with autism, social phobia and anxiety and other stuff. And then after that, I got a support group together, helping parents support parents with children with Down syndrome. So the circle of special needs just kind of got bigger. And actually my first book was The Secret Forest, which is this one. And that was me and my son writing the book together about what autism feels like from a child's point of view. And he actually did all the illustrations, but he taught me so much in a way he couldn't say at school, because he's got selective mutism, and he always said he's got a plug in his mouth and he couldn't speak.
Wow.
And it took years for him to tell me. So, and I wanted to tell everybody, you know, because kids can't put this stuff into eloquent words at the time when they're shutting down. They just can't. So when the teachers are not understanding, when their friends, their peer groups are taking the mick, they can't say it in a way that other people get it. So it was important to get that out. So we did that together. That was lovely. And then after I did that, I felt the need to say things from my point of view as a mum. Of course I love them. Of course I'd do anything for them, but it is hard. And you were saying about the perfect mask is because where there's so many people involved in your life, you've got sometimes social services, if you need respite, so that they're involved. Then you've got the medical, then you've got the educational side, and each side is a huge team of people, and you're dealing with all of those. And sometimes they come into your house, and sometimes you've got to go to your port, you know, travel all over the place, and you feel like you have to be perfect, you know. And people do, they say, oh, you're doing such an amazing job, and they mean really well when they say that, and you think, oh yeah, well, I'll have to carry on doing, you know, this is such an amazing job. And it's hard to say I'm having a bad day. It's hard to say I need some help. So
is that where the mask come in? Because you say,
yeah, so you just wear this mask, like, you know,
I've written this book for the women who wear masks.
Yeah, we all wear masks. Yeah, and it's not just special needs parents wear masks. I think all parents wear masks, because we do it for the kids. We do it for just trying to pretend that we're okay when we're not okay. And that was my point, is you don't have to be okay all the time. You know, it's okay to let people in. It's okay to say, I need some help.
It's interesting, even Britney Spears was in the news yesterday saying she regrets making it seem like everything was okay with the issue she was having, and she wishes she'd actually been more open about it not being okay. And so it's exactly the same sort of different format of it, or different scenario, but this feeling that you have to put the mask on is actually counterproductive. And your book is just so powerful. I made a note of sort of, if you can see that, sort of the two sides of the coin that you show. On one hand, you've got issues like guilt, blame, inadequacy, failure, masks. But on the other side, and this is why there's an upbeat side to the book, you've got friendship, motherhood, relationships, fighting. There's a lovely scene with the snowball where the husband just wants his wife to just fight, throw the snowball at me, fight. I want my wife back, fight. It was, and honesty is a big part of the book as well. It's a powerful book. It's a really truthful, honest book. It's a hard-hitting book. You don't pull any punches with it. Would you like to just sort of set the scenario of the three friends, and then, because we've got about 10 minutes to go, so just set the scenario and then maybe read the
Friendship is massively important, and it's what got me through. I remember I've always been, you know, I thought a fairly confident person, and I remember a stage when I didn't fit anywhere. We didn't fit in a play group. We didn't fit here. We didn't fit there. Everyone stared at us wherever we went, the three of us. And I remember going into this special needs play group, and I was so nervous about going in. I felt sick. But once I did go in and I met these people, these incredible people, that they became my family and they helped me so much. I met one of my best friends there, and we used to get each other through quite a lot. We text each other all the time for our difficult parts of the day. You know, she had certain triggers through the day that she would just constantly text me until she got through it. And she's Hayley in the book, actually. It's with her permission, but all of it's based on very real experiences
That comes
throughout
across.
the book, but it is down as fiction, but it is based on very real. And I'm based on Louise, although, you know, not everything is exactly, but it is kind of based on that.
Based on true events, they say, don't they? In the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give us that your little extract then, because that's relevant. It really resonated with me, this meeting of the various organisations there to help, but sometimes the way it comes across isn't helpful. And I've been in that situation as well with CAF panels, as they used to be called, where it's just it was hard work as the parent. So just read set it up and then read your extract, please, Claire.
Okay. So Jenny Jones is one of the three friends who appears perfect to everybody. Jenny sat in the car, not wanting to be too early, but not wanting to be late either. She tried to steady her breathing and concentrate on the papers filed neatly in her folder on the passenger seat, racking her brain of any more questions or points she wanted to raise instead of giving attention to the gremlin on her chest. He'd been there all morning, clinging to her, making her feel heavy, slowing her breathing and questioning every little thing she did. He told her negative things and made her heart pulse quickly, her whole body turn into lead as he sucked the energy from her. Jenny slowly checked the documents again, concentrating hard on them. There was a lot there. She expected the meeting to be a few hours so they could update the kids' EHCP. Lots of professionals would be there too, all discussing their life. She trembled as she tried to wind the window down for some fresh air, and sickness overcame her. Oh my God, I can't be sick now. But she was, and Jenny fumbled around for anything that would catch it. There was nothing. Her car was pristine, and nothing lying around there that shouldn't be. In desperation, she opened the door, vomiting onto the floor, retching so hard it hurt her stomach. She didn't even have time to check nobody could see her. Twice more she vomited until there was nothing left. She was between two parked cars, so hopefully no one would see her, and it was school time, so no parents in and out right now. Jenny sat back shaking. Time check. She had to go now or she would be late. Mustering up her strength, she picked up her papers again with a trembling hand, stepping out of the car over the splatter of vomit on the floor, the gremlin heavy on her chest. Straightening her shoulders, she walked towards the school for the meeting, blinking her tears away and cementing her smile in place, smoothing down her skirt, ready to face everyone.
Well, this insight into how hard it is for a parent to enter a meeting full of professionals, and that's what I saw as well in my experience of it. The professionals, it's just their job. They want to help, they want to care, but they're in these meetings all the time. They're not aware. Sometimes they're not aware of the emotional pressure, the gremlin, as you described it, the fear, the anxiety that is just walking into a meeting full of these professionals sitting around that table, passing judgment. And I think that comes across, this idea that I talked about guilt and blame and inadequacy, this idea, and I think you mentioned it with the play schools and things, that this sense that you're always being judged, which I suppose is where the mask comes in. Is that right? That sense that in your head, this idea of the people are judging you?
Yeah, I mean, there will always be people that say things, sometimes not meaning to say something that's, the wrong thing, but when you're feeling vulnerable anyway, it can really cause some effects that, you won't go back there, or you feel like you don't fit in. And with the meetings, I know myself, I kind of got used to the meetings over time, but at first, especially the early ones, when it was a case of I didn't really know what was going on, there were some amazing teachers, really, but then there were those few that, my voice wasn't important, so my voice got quieter. as the years got on, it's got much louder, and you know, I've learned that I have to speak up and be a big part of the meeting, and it's actually my meeting, and I feel more empowered now. But that did take a long time. And people don't always realise that. I mean, I've got a friend who won't go to those meetings now, and she still won't go because of the anxiety. And the teachers don't know that, because we're wearing this mask, we're wearing this, I'm absolutely okay, and we're always ready to fight, because you have to fight for everything. So you're ready to have a fight, even when you don't need to. So, and that can come across the wrong way sometimes, but that's how it is.
So I'm bearing in mind you just made one of the audience cry. What would you?
Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. What advice would you give? We always work on the premise of independent thinking that teachers, that they want to do the right thing. None of them are mean. None of them are dismissive. They all want to do this, but sometimes they don't know what to do. Sometimes they haven't got the time to do what they want to do. But sometimes they just don't quite know what to do, what angle. I think in your book, and I know one of our audience members will respond to this, I think the idea that, I think it was in your book, I've read a lot of books in the last little while ready for this, the idea that you're actually referred to by name, and the child is referred to by name as opposed to mum.
Yeah. That's a big thing, actually. That's one of my things. And I know it's hard to remember everyone's names. It is, but it's kind of disempowering for a mum to just be called mum. I don't say teacher or Senko or whatever. I remember their names, and as I have a lot of names to remember as well. So it's nice. It's just a little bit. It's a way of showing respect, and I think it is hard to remember. So even if it's just, you know the child's last name. So I had one teacher that always used to call me Alex's mum, and I didn't mind that, because he was using her name, and because he could never remember mine, which I did get. But some teachers might say, Miss Lamb instead, and that's nice as well. It's just a bit of recognition.
What else? Give us another, and that is so important. I've heard that from other people as well, how important that is. It's that validation. I'm a human being. I'm not just the mum.
Checking back and asking, when it comes to meetings, this is what we want to talk about. Like working together. Like a two-way communication is really important. Going to a meeting and having like an EHC put in front of you that's already been filled out and not been discussed with you at all is a personal pet peeve of mine, because it's all come from the school, and this is what we want, not what do you think, just sign there. And it's like, no, we work through this together. It's my child, and I'm not at school, I'm not the expert at school. Obviously, I'm the expert at home. That's why it has to be a working relationship. And
I think you mentioned in that, the teacher saying, or the school saying, oh, we didn't want to bother you. And the response from the character in the book, from you, it's my child, why is it a bother? I'm not bothered by anything about the welfare of my child, which I think that was powerful as well. And how do you respond to people, or in the book, the character in the book, how do you respond to people who park in where they shouldn't be?
Oh, I don't. That's not me, but that is very much my friend. She's quite fiery, ex-army, straight in the window, shouting at them, where's your disabled badge? You shouldn't be parking there. And she did actually do that. So, yeah.
And then she says, should we move the car? No, I
said, do you want to move the car? No, I just wanted to make my point. So, and that is her all over. So, yeah. I
love that. Thank you for that. So, it is like, here's my list. It's a book about friendship, about motherhood. It's about relationships. It's about asking for help. It's about getting the support that you need. It's about fighting. And it is an incredibly honest book. And I think any parent reading it, regardless of the nature of their children, will benefit from the book in terms of their relationships and understanding the other parents in their circles. And I think anybody working with children will benefit from that book as well. So thank you for being part of this. This I meant to mention at the beginning, is part of the Sue Atkins Book Club, so you're part of that, which helps you get this book out to the people who need it. I'll check out your other book as well, because that looks really powerful. I know Nina's made a note in the chat how to get hold of that book, and I think she'll be first in the queue to get both of those books. How can people get hold of you? Do you have a website? Do you have are you online?
Yeah, my website is takeajourneywith.com. Yeah, I'm on Facebook and Twitter as well, but that's the website, and then you can get the books from there, but they're available on Amazon.
Okay. I think we're doing a deal with the Roving Bookshop as well through all of these, so whether you've done a deal with them and you can get hold of it that way, but we'll put the link we'll put little captions in when we put this video out online. Gotta go. That was such a powerful, we're doing this children's book authors, and there's lots of little sort of happy books and silly poems and things. That sort of hits you right between the eyes. But why not? That's just, Claire, you're such an inspiration, and I know the people watching, they're nodding away there, have been inspired by it. I've got to go and speak to a poet. But thank you for your time, and good luck with it all. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.